Don't come home then, fine, like, sleep somewhere else. Good. I don't want you to come back until you've calmed the down and you know what you're doing with your life, okay? Meh. Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the channel. My name is Cassandra and this is where I respond to stuff on the internet for my entertainment and yours. If that tickles your pickle, then go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Today we are going to be responding to a post on Reddit's infamous Am I the Asshole? So let's go ahead and get started. I'm reading this post for the very first time as you see me, so let's see. Am I the asshole for walking out of the baby shower my in-laws threw for me? The situation is kind of a mess. I, female 24, am expecting my first baby with my husband. Congratulations. This is the first grandchild in the family, in-laws, and they said that if the baby's a boy, then we'll give him my father-in-law's name. He's dead due to cancer, and I had no problem with that. They said that if the baby's a boy, then we'll give him a father-in-law's name. Why are they naming the baby for you? First off, okay, it's your child. Why is someone else naming it? Anyway. OP is fine with that apparently. This happened before we found out the gender of the baby. My husband and his family had me do things like attend prayers and do other rituals before the reveal at the doctor's. I didn't like that, but went with it to keep the peace. Okay, doctor appointment came and it turned out to be a girl. Okay, my husband cried in the car, then turned his phone off to hide from his family, then finally told them. Wow, okay. So now I'm wondering, is the husband upset because he really wanted a boy or because of how he knew his family was going to react? His mum and the others made their frustration and disappointment clear, which bothered me because my daughter deserves to be celebrated. But they ghosted me for days, then started coming over and visiting constantly, referring to my daughter as my son, claiming the results were false and basically pretending that it's a boy. I'm trying to think of whether I should just respond to this bit now or keep reading. Let me respond to this bit now. Okay, so this whole thing with a gender reveal, blah, 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 no judgment, you can do what you want, but I don't really get it, especially because of the whole thing with the difference between a biological sex and the gender. It's not it's not my thing, okay? But again, no judgment for people who want to do that stuff, whatever, it's your life. What I don't like about this though is that the family are just pretending that the baby is a boy because they wanted to name it after the grandfather when they've already been told by a doctor that it's going to be a girl, which, don't get me wrong, sometimes they read the scans wrong, whatever. Again, taking the gender versus sex part out of it, they're basically just denying, they're just oh, we don't want that to be the case, so we're going to pretend that it's not. Okay, let's continue reading. So they're basically pretending that it's a boy. I had several fights with them after they refused to stop it, and my husband sided with them despite seeing how wrong and unreasonable what they were doing was. We didn't speak for a while. I don't know if she's referring then to the husband or the family, but I wouldn't either. That's not cool, and I don't know why the husband's siding with the family. Anyway, maybe that's not important. So then the sister-in-law called to apologise and then informed me that she arranged for a baby shower for me. I was so excited and happy, but when I arrived, I saw blue balloons. Stereotype, but let's ignore that. Blue cake with father-in-law's name and decorations around. I was so confused I had to sit down. Sister-in-law explained that they were still, I don't know why that part's in quotes, that they were still hoping the gender results are false and it's a boy. I looked at my husband and he agreed with her. I lost my temper and yelled at them all, calling them delusionals and telling them to stop treating my daughter like she's unwanted and act like she doesn't exist by throwing a party for their imaginary grandson. My mother-in-law break, broke down crying. I took my bag and walked out immediately. So how the sister-in-law, okay? Sister-in-law, how you gonna call me up being like, oh, I'm so sorry, but hey, I'm throwing a baby shower for you. When you probably already fucking know at that point that it's like, I mean, not an ambush, but a fucking ambush. Like, don't say sorry and then keep playing that shit. That's not okay. Or if you say, okay, maybe the sister-in-law, like she's just an unfortunate like person that's caught up in this and that she didn't want to do it, but the family wanted to do it, then at least do me a fucking solid and be like, okay, I'm sorry, I don't think it's right, but here we're having a baby shower. And by the way, just so you know, it's gonna be like all stereotypical boy stuff. Like, come on, don't... Whose side are you on here? Do you know what I mean? Like, don't pretend. Anyway, they started yelling and my husband followed me outside and started arguing about how I insulted his family and his dad's memory by acting like that. Bitch, please. I told him to wake up and see the insanity in his family's behaviour. He said that they needed time to process the fact that it's a girl, not a boy, as they expected, and insisted I play along and they'll soon get over it. Bitch, it ain't my fault you're delusional. It's not my job to play that fucking game, to put on this show. Okay, like the emperor ain't wearing any clothes. I'm pretty sure that's what that's all about, right? Like, and it's not even their baby. It's this woman's baby. And anyway, play along soon so they'll get over it. What? Like, how has encouraging bad behaviour ever resulted in the bad behaviour stopping? You're delusional too, husband. I said absolutely not and demanded he take me home. Good for you. He said no, so I called an Uber and left. Fuck you, husband. Oh my gosh, that's not cool. He was fuming. He called 15 times, then texted that he won't be coming home till I get my ass over and apologised for ruining everything they've done for me and accusing them of being mentally unstable. I haven't responded yet. He's constantly pressuring me to get right with his family before we even talk about anything else. She said that she wanted to go home. You wouldn't take her home. So what was she supposed to do? Just fucking stay there and like endure this bullshit? I don't fucking think so. She had every right to find her own way home. How you gone then blow up her phone 15 times, be pissed off at her, and your family doesn't have to get over this, but she does? She has to hop on the delusion train? Bitch, I don't think so. Like, no. Obviously, we only know OP's perspective. Maybe they have done a lot for her. Maybe they have been super supportive in other ways. But for this particular thing, even if they've been amazing with other stuff and helped her in other ways, you can't then hold that against someone and then be like, therefore, you have to pretend that your child is something that you have been told by a scientist, doctors or scientists. You have to just pretend that that's not true because we want to live in the fucking clouds or whatever. Like, no, not the asshole. Yeah, and that seems to be what other people on here agree as well. Maud has also said, be civil, calling someone insane, nuts, crazy, or any variant or any other insult will result in a ban, which I actually think is totally fair, because when I did see that before about how they're like unstable and mentally unstable, I don't appreciate that rhetoric. I mean, it's like, it's harmful and shit. I won't get into it now, but it's also something that I'm trying to take out of my own vocabulary, because a lot of these things are just, you know, they become sayings and they become just things that people say, but actually, you know, we should make an effort to remove things that are not nice to say or do. Anyway, I mean, I kind of told you what I thought about that already, huh? There's just all kinds of craps wrong with this. Like I say, okay, so let's talk about the family first. Again, this is not their baby. They might be a blood relative, but it is not their baby. They are not the parent, they're not the legal guardian, they're not the adoptive parents or anything like that. They don't get to, one, decide the baby's name. You can make a suggestion and the parents can decide for themselves whether they want to take that suggestion on, but the decision is ultimately up to them, not you. You can't fucking pretend. Again, gender versus sex issue aside, you can't pretend that a girl is a boy just because you want them to be. Like, that's stupid. Getting upset at the woman, OP, the mother, for not taking their bullshit, like, that's just like classic, like, turning yourself into the victim, whatever, boo-hoo. No, not okay. What else was there? Disrespecting the father's memory, the granddad? No. By believing a doctor over a bunch of delusional people? How is that disrespecting anyone apart from, like, I don't even, like, it's not, like, that's just stupid. That's just grasping at straws. Get a fucking grip of yourself. Then the husband. The husband, you ain't out of this shit, bitch. I already said about the sister-in-law, you know, like, don't apologise if you clearly don't mean it and you're just going to turn around and do the same thing again. And if it's out of your hands, then do me a fucking solid, give me the heads up. The husband, not cool. Not okay. Like, being delusional along with his family, like kidding himself, expecting the wife, mother, OP, to be delusional as well. Stupid. He's also acting like he's somehow better than them, as if like, oh yeah, just go along with it and whatever. He's not better than them. He's not better than them. Then as well, like, basically getting the wife in a situation where she is dependent on him for, like, getting home, and then being like, no, I refuse. I'm not going to give you that option to leave this horrible situation that you're in that's clearly causing you distress. I'm not going to do anything to try and help you get out of that situation. Then when she takes it quite rightly into her own hands to remove herself from the situation by hopping in an Uber, then he's gonna, like, criticize her for doing that. I don't fucking think so. That is not okay. Like, I mean, you know, as the husband, as the partner, you should be more supportive, okay? Like, I'm sorry, it's not a codependency thing. It's just like a fucking have respect for your partner thing, you know? You should be supportive of their mental and physical safety, which he clearly already wasn't. But then just even as a person, like, even if they weren't together that way, you can't stop someone from leaving and then have a go at them when they do because they were put into a terrible situation. Like, and then just this whole thing of, oh, I'm not going to talk to you until you make up with them and blah, 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 and acting as she's in the wrong. Like, don't come home then, fine, like, sleep somewhere else. Good. I don't want you to come back until you've calmed the fuck down and you know what you're doing with your fucking life, okay? Like, not the asshole. Oh, please, not the asshole. I guess that's it. There's nothing more to say. Short and sweet. All right, well, I was entertained. I hope you were too. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. This is like either the first or one of the first one of these videos that I'm posting. So let me know what you think about it. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.